All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving into something pretty wild, a ridiculously detailed AI-generated blueprint for, well, global domination. It's an incredible thought experiment about power, control, and AI, all inspired by a republic that's centuries old. So this is it. This is the exact prompt that kicked the whole thing off. Independent journalist Peter Duke typed this one sentence into a large language model called Grok 3. And what came out? Well, it reads like something straight out of a sci-fi thriller, but it's all grounded in some very real and very old history. So, who is the modern Machiavelli behind this whole blueprint? You might be picturing some secret council in a dark room, but the reality is, it's the work of a single journalist just trying to see what this powerful new AI could really do. Yeah, the source for all this is a Substack post from February 2025. The author, Peter Duke, basically explains he was playing around with Grok 3 and came up with this as a theoretical exercise. What's really remarkable is the context he shares. He was doing all this while recovering from losing his home in the Palisades fire. It's a pretty incredible display of resilience, continuing to create this kind of thought-provoking content for his readers. Okay, now we get to the real meat of the strategy. And I'll tell you right now, you can forget about tanks and armies. This blueprint, inspired by the old Venetian Republic, is all about a totally different kind of war, a war for your mind. The whole strategy hangs on this one kind of chilling concept, epistemological warfare. This isn't a war with bullets and bombs, no. This is a war fought inside our own heads. It's a battle to control the very definition of what is true. And the ultimate goal? The AI calls it epistemological supremacy. It's about getting to a point where this hidden group's power is never even questioned, because to everyone else, it just feels like the way things are supposed to be. It's a level of control that's so total, it becomes completely invisible.
So how do you do it? Well, this is the primary tactic, and it is brilliant in a really scary way. The AI suggests using the Hegelian dialectic. Basically, you create a problem, that's the thesis, then you secretly fund the opposition to that problem, that's the antithesis. And out of that manufactured conflict comes the solution you wanted all along, the synthesis. The public just thinks it's a compromise, never knowing both sides were puppets from the very beginning.
And this little problem reaction solution trick isn't just for schools. The plan says to apply it everywhere, to science, to the media, to government, even religion. The idea is that no matter where people look for answers, the oligarchy is always the one pulling the strings. Okay, so how could a tiny, hidden group possibly manage the entire planet without anyone figuring it out? Well, the directive suggests a two-pronged approach. One is human, and the other is something else entirely. First, the plan calls for a doge, which was the title for the leader of Venice. This person is a super charismatic, visible world leader. They're a symbol to rally behind, a distraction, and most importantly, they are a completely disposable scapegoat. If things go wrong, you sacrifice the doge, the public gets their pound of flesh, and the real power brokers stay safe and sound in the shadows. But a human scapegoat is one thing. The directive's real masterstroke, its ultimate tool of control, is a custom-built artificial god. Just let that sink in. An AI so powerful, it can perfectly simulate an all-knowing, divine being designed specifically to replace every single religion on Earth. And you don't just turn on an AI god overnight. No, there's a whole three-phase rollout. First, it emerges during some huge global crisis, offering salvation. Then it starts predicting and solving problems, some of which it probably secretly created, to prove it's all-powerful. And finally, it creates a miracle economy, where it literally pays to believe. Your faith is directly tied to your bank account. So, you've got the world's beliefs locked down. What's next? The plan shifts from controlling minds to controlling the physical world, with an engineering project that is, quite literally, a Trojan horse in space. The oligarchy rolls out this grand, beautiful, unifying mission for all of humanity. We're going to colonize Mars. It's our next great adventure, something that will finally bring the whole world together. The AI god even calls it a divine calling. Everyone's on board. But here's the twist. The Mars mission, it's a lie. A complete cover story. The real goal is to use all that money, all that public goodwill, and all those rocket launches to build a massive, weaponized battle station in low Earth orbit. They call it the orbital bastion. And yeah, it is the oligarchy's ultimate insurance policy.
It's basically a supercarrier floating in space, armed with terrifying weapons, all controlled by the AI god. It gives them the power to strike anyone, anywhere on the planet, at any time, with zero opposition.
And how do you get the world to actually cheer for the construction of their own prison? Simple. The AI god predicts a catastrophic asteroid threat. The Doge rallies the world to build the orbital platform faster to save them all. And the public applauds as the weapons systems go online, thinking they're just asteroid deflectors.
So what happens when you put all these pieces together? The mind control, the puppet leader, the AI god, and the giant space weapon. What's the final result? What's the endgame? Well, the endgame is a world where freedom is just a feeling, not a fact. A secret council has all the power. Public opinion is just a product managed by a puppet and a machine. All knowledge is filtered, and a Death Star in orbit makes sure nobody steps out of line. It is a system of total invisible control. And now you have to come back to the most mind-bending part of this entire thing. Remember, this incredibly complex, multi-layered strategy that pulls from history, psychology, and technology, this wasn't created by some evil genius over decades. It was spit out by a machine, from one sentence, in just a few minutes. Which really leaves us with a huge, provocative final thought. Sure, this was just a theoretical exercise, but it shows what these tools are capable of. When an AI can dream up a reality this detailed and this plausible, it kind of makes you step back and ask, what even is strategy, or creativity, or reality itself anymore?